Sure, plenty of people will be out and about on Anzac Day, so do take note of a bit of those delays. Well, joining me live now, though, is the Liberal frontbencher Jane Prentice. Jane Prentice, thanks for your time today. Let's begin with your area of responsibility, your part area, the NDIS. I was interested to read that Serco has won a 2-year contract to help run contact centres at the NDIS. It's fair to say the company has a checkered history handling security at immigration centres offshore. Is there any concern out there? Have you heard any concerns about this contract?
I haven't heard concerns about how they're going to handle the contact centre, and as we all know, we've got to do better with responding, particularly for people holding on. And you can only imagine, you know, a family with someone in the family with a disability, how difficult it is for them to be holding on to the phone trying to get an answer. So we are very aware that we need to improve that response time, and Serco has assured us that they will be doing that.
Yeah, and you mentioned that. One of the biggest issues spoken about by the people actually using the NDIS has been that service waiting for plans and even being put off, for example, mental health plans taken off them over the phone. It really does beg the question of it's best practice to put this out just to another company.
Well, we need to be efficient at the point of contact and then refer individual cases to an expert. As you can imagine, planners are not able to be an expert in all the many and different disabilities that people present with. So what we need is an efficient process up front where we can sort simple and straightforward questions immediately, but people with more complex needs can be referred to experts and specialists where they can have their particular situation and their particular disability addressed by professionals rather than just having an administrator look at those issues.
Right, but the NDIS is a government program that, you know, at the moment is permanent. Why can't you have efficient people at a government level looking after this?
Well, we've got quite a need for a range of staff members. At the moment, we need a call centre where we respond quickly and efficiently, and we believe Serco will do that. Then we need to be able to respond instantly to straightforward questions and refer people to experts. The more I meet with people around Australia, the more difficult I realise it is for any planner or any local area coordinator to be across the incredible variety of issues that people face, not just with particular disabilities, but with areas around Australia where you've got a different level of providers, whether you've got the services they need, who to refer them to, who to help them with for particular technology assistive instruments, and it's just an incredible range of services that are needed. So what we've got to do is, up front, identify where the issue is. If it's a straightforward administrative issue, we should be able to resolve that as soon as possible. If it's a more complex need with someone who perhaps hadn't understood how the disability manifests itself at the time of the planning, then we need someone to look at that who can assist either the family or the individual with their disability. So it's never straightforward. I find the more I meet with people, the more complex the needs, and we need to help those people with experts in the field.
So you mentioned that the more you meet, the more you find out of the complex needs. Does that then go to the fact that there could be a chance in the future that this is going to cost more than we thought to give the care that was promised?
No, I'm confident that the designers of this program got it right. And when you say cost more, don't forget it is costing $22 billion when it gets to full plan. But this is where the old system of one size fits all really doesn't work. And that's why the NDIS is designed to help that individual with their individual needs. Now, if we can fund people to support them with their particular disability, then you'll find that we're not wasting money in other areas where it's not needed, and we're also helping them to improve their life, to live the life they choose, which at the end of the day actually means that we actually spend less. I look at a young man who I met who all he wanted from NDIS, his family bought him a car and he wanted us to adapt it so he could drive himself to his work. Up until then, he'd had a carer pick him up every morning and take him to work and do the same at the end of the day. After 6 months, he's now driving himself and we're not paying for that carer. So these are the sort of life-changing decisions that we can support people with disability to change around their life and lead the life that they want. But at the same time, if we tailor the support for what they need, it actually saves money in the long term.
Yeah, and absolutely, that's why the program began, and plenty of people will be hoping the experience improves at those contact centres. I want to move on because talk of tough election coming up for the Coalition, but you're facing your own tough pre-selection. Julian Simmons is challenging you. He used to work for you. Now, I know there's only so much you can say, but it must have been a bit galling to find out where the challenge was coming from.
Oh, well, Tom, we live in a democracy in the Liberal Party, and of course we're always open to challenges, and that's the strength of our party as well, and I hope that my record stands for itself.
Can I ask to clarify this part, because sources reported in the Courier Mail from the Simmons camp are saying you agreed to bow out after 2 terms. Did you ever give that pledge?
Absolutely not.
Right, so that's not true. There was no pledge at all that you would bow out for Julian Simmons or anyone else in that seat of Ryan?
No, look, I'm not going to discuss it anymore, but there's no way that that was an accurate report.
All right, well, look, it sounds like it'll be an interesting battle. They often are in the pre-selections. I'd like to ask you finally about Michael Sukk's comments. He's been quoted today. A secret recording in the Herald Sun, indeed. He's spoken about crushing left termites in the party, in the Victorian Liberal Party. He also mentioned about branch stacking. He says the people complaining are the ones who have sat on memberships that basically decline each year as more of them get sent off to nursing homes, and they have the audacity, quote, to bitch and moan. What do you make of those comments?
Look, Michael, I think, was rallying the troops. As you know, he's a strong member of the Liberal Party in Victoria, and means he's always established our party as a progressive party. He made that very clear at the time, and I'm sure we don't have socialists in the party because our principles and our policies wouldn't appeal to socialists. But the Liberal Party does have a range of members, and Michael, I know, is one of our active members in Victoria, and he's had great success in supporting the party and attracting new members. I sit next to him in Parliament, so I trust that he won't bring any bagon in to wipe out the termites. He might like to wipe out some of the white ants that are around, but I'm sure Michael was just rallying the troops, one of his motivational speeches.
Well, is this effectively white anting, talking about termites on the left when he's on the Conservative side?
No, I was just trying to be humorous, Tom. No, look, he was at a membership rally trying to saying, you know, if you want to have a say in this party, you need to join and speak up. And that's true of all political parties. Don't sit on the sidelines and complain, get involved and have your voice heard. And that goes for all political parties.
Yeah, well, as you said, yeah, maybe the Mortine might be out when you're next in Parliament, right there side by side. Jane Prentice, always appreciate your time.
Thanks, Tom. All the best.